Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Star Report. This is Jason here at New Dimensions Crystals and Reiki in downtown Breno, Texas. Today's report is for August the 6th, 2025 through August 12th, 2025. And as usual, we start with our closest star in the star report, which is our sun. And the sun has been active over the past couple of days. And so, what we need to pay attention to for us is there has been minor solar flaring, which has produced minor CMEs, which are going to clip Earth. So they are Earth directed, but it should be a glancing blow. And of course, when we sort of have just a reminder, it's been a while since we've had some solar flaring. When the solar flares come, it sort of has aha moments and does some clearing. But when those minor CMEs do hit, sometimes they do cause disruptions in our tech because of the electrical effect it has on the planet and its protective field. So pay attention. That energy from the CME should be arriving over the weekend. So pay attention to slow internet and disruptions in things like that. Should be minor, but it is going to be combining with a coronal hole stream. And so the coronal hole is turning into be Earth facing over the next day or so. And then that energy, which is a plasma stream, will be heading our way over the weekend as well. So there might be a 1-2 punch. And that sunspot and the sunspots that are following it are continue to remain active. So there could be additional CMEs. So pay attention to your local solar weather channel that you get your information from that guides that. NASA does it. So it's readily available if you want to see what's the sun doing today or what happened in the sun yesterday that made me feel weird. Plenty of places to find that space weather news and then space weather, I believe, are good .coms to go to look for that information. They get all kinds of charts. You could look at the sun. Yeah, the coronal hole is transequatorial, so it's going to be above and below, right? So it should be a nice big hole facing us when it gets here. Also, just pay attention to that. We are currently in Leo, and alchemically, our body has been matched up by old school alchemists and scientists that they correspond to certain physical sections of the body. And the Leo that we are currently in corresponds with our heart and then our active energies, right? So our active nerve system. So the things that cause motor movement are going to be triggered, right? So sometimes you might feel a little bit of restlessness with that. When that extra energy is moving through the heart in Leo, right, it really just sort of appears as a pressure. And of course, we know you should also be monitoring if you have any kind of heart issues, your heart. Because of not only the alignment of the zodiac, but solar weather does increase episodes of such things. So pay attention to that. We're currently in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 retrogrades. And the first retrograde is Pluto. And that's really about our shadow self, our hidden powers. Sometimes that's about old wounds, right? But it's about finding those and releasing them. So sometimes you're going to have a lot of aha moments about things that are in the arc of your history that are like, oh, those make sense. Or, oh, those didn't make sense the way they do now. And that was something that was keeping me back. So that would have been something like a hidden wound that you didn't know about or didn't think of as a wound, but is all of a sudden highlighted during this period. That means it's something to work on or release or move past. So go ahead and do that. And then hidden powers is all kinds of stuff, right? Oh, I was psychic as a kid, or oh, my breath works really activated some certain things. I'm really accessing the awareness that has been physically built into this body that I have. Pretty cool. Also, Neptune is in retrograde. Neptune is really about expanding our awareness or expanded awareness, right? So sometimes people will sort of do this to psychic abilities, but really what it is the ability to read the field. Since we are in a plasmatic electro universe, right, the field in quantum entanglement is really there is no distance, there is no time. So you really start to have access to things that seem like they're outside of your physical location and your mental learning. So that's what happens when Neptune goes retrograde, and that's just the planet of just sort of higher mind, higher consciousness kind of stuff. Saturn is in retrograde, and Saturn is about accountability, right? So that's sort of a lot of times is not necessarily about rules, but it's really about building habits and accountability. A lot of times when it goes retrograde, it's about being accountable to self, right? And so that really starts to make us challenge our viewpoint that things are happening to us rather than we are the actors in our own play and the directors of the action. So this is the ability or the awareness of things that you can be more accountable for and shift faster rather than waiting for people around you or the world or scientists or NASA or somebody else, psychics, to figure it out for you. All right, so this is what Saturn does in retrograde. Mercury retrograde, travel, communication. It'll be over by the end of the week. Yay! So yeah, Mercury is still in retrograde, and then Chiron will be in retrograde for the rest of the year, and it's really about self worth and just sort of understanding your place in reality, whatever that is, and just sort of that you actually have a purpose, that your life has meaning, right? And this is sort of the illumination of the divinity of the soul. So pay attention to that, which moves us into today, Wednesday, not the 26th, the 6th of 2025, August the 6th, 2025. And the sun is combining with all these retrogrades to really sort of blast through all this darkness, all this unsuredness to sort of really help us glow with information that these planets that are doing the things, it's really going to be like, oh yeah, these are the things I'm working on. These are the pathways to take to rectify those things or to utilize those things in the tool chest, right? Sometimes these aren't necessarily about discovering limitations or spending time wondering what's wrong with you. These are times spending about what power is untapped, right? So that just because you haven't used it doesn't mean you didn't know you could be using it. So this is a lot of time to spend doing that. I think that's everything for today, Wednesday. Moving into tomorrow, Thursday, August 7th, 2025. Um, it's really sort of a calm, chill day. Oh, we get a chill day. Depending on solar weather, we'll sort of see how that happens. But with Mars having moved into Libra, it sort of gives you that energy to sort of find balance, to sort of I'm going to say sort of a lot today. I think that's what I wake up and do. I'll say sort of. Anywho, moving right along, gives you that energy to sort of find balance, where Libra's the scales, right? So you sort of find balance in all this work that you're doing on yourself. You're balancing self, others, culture, higher consciousness, potentialities of outcomes, all those kinds of things. Sometimes when the active energy of Mars moves into Libra, we actively procrastinate or overthink things, right? So you want to think of it not just as a balance of scales, but also making a column of pros and cons, right? So you might overthink the pros and cons on Thursday. Not a problem. Just remind yourself that there's only so long you can think about things, and then you should act. Moves us into Friday, 8 Gateway, August the 8th, 2025. It's funny, the longer these things are around, the more people sort of want to become famous or talk shit online about the energy of 8-8 or that Lionsgate's sort of not a big deal. It happens every year. It's just sort of this high summertime in the northern hemisphere where the energies move, and that gateway is really sort of, we're moving into the next phase, right? So we've been doing all this work through the year, then we move into the next phase of planning for the next year. So Lionsgate is a thing. It is an alignment. It's combining with a couple things. The moon's almost going to be full on Friday. There is a cosmic kite with Saturn, Pluto, Uranus, and Mars. And so that sort of gives that sort of lift to it, right, with those planetary energies. And then yeah, so Lionsgate, the nearly full moon and the cosmic kite, it's really just gonna be some high energy to discern um what is slow reality, uh what's mundane, what's the word, what's profane, ooh, biblical, uh regular, and what's higher consciousness, and really sort of that ability to discern and choose how much time are you spending on the mundane or the profane when there's all the sacred stuff which has more effect, right? So when the sacred bleeds into that, then you're trying to sanctify or make sacred the things that are mundane, right? So if you spend more time in that sacred space, then that shift is possible. And that just sort of leads into a higher consciousness, the ability to sort of see through the weeds and like, oh my gosh, there's so much to do. But if I do this one thing or add this one habit, then that spiritualizes a lot of things that makes, even if it's difficult, it makes it have purpose, which makes us be able to accomplish it more. Moves us into Saturday, the 9th of August, 2025, full moon. Of course, me being a crystal shop owner and the lore being that it actually is magnetism that comes from the moon. And so it sort of extracts negative energies or stuck energies out of things, right? Put your crystals in the moonlight, do your full moon rituals, right? There's rituals that go on the full moon, and then there's rituals that go on the new moon, and then there's all phases of the moon. So if you have a regular practice or you want to install one into your regularity to do on the full moon, besides putting your crystals out, go ahead and look into that. The moon is really on this full moon, sort of illuminating the past, illuminating the path, not the past, illuminating the past path. So it should be full of signs, right? Aha moment, synchronicities. They should sort of be everywhere with the energies that sort of came from Friday into Saturday. There's just a whole lot of making sense of not only your own life, but sort of reality in general, and then sort of a spiritual way to walk towards higher goals and higher being. That sounds like a fun Saturday. Sunday, the 10th of August, 2025, the Cosmic Kite uh, continues. And then we have this planetary alignment starting on the 10th that goes through the 12th, which is should be able to be seen in the sky as Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Uranus, Neptune, Saturn. And just without energy, you sort of, it's almost like you there's a couple of movies, but mostly it's all those movies where there's sort of a trigger within the movie where the protagonist becomes aware and goes, oh, and figures stuff out. That's the kind of energy where you can just sort of see above the noise and all the stuff that's happening at this level and go like, wait, here's are the things that are in motion, and here's how I can use those things in motion to participate and or raise myself above the mundane. That sounds like a busy weekend we got going on. Moves us into Monday, the 11th of August, 2025. Mercury goes direct. So if you've been having a difficult technology or travel, Mercury retrograde or just been pretty argumentative and communications have been wonky, then good for you. That starts to end on the 11th. Not only is this Mercury moving direct going to make communication with each other and other souls more clear, it is going to make the communication with things and stuff. Sorry. So communication with the signs really leads us into Tuesday, the what am I at? The 12th of 2025. We'll be entering the post shadow of Mercury retrograde, and that post shadow is going to be till the 25th of the month. That's that two and a half week period or 2-ish week period afterwards. We will also have the peak of the Perseids. Meteor shower, right? And meteor showers always bring information and communication. The cosmos is really in this sort of alignment, reaching out to you to communicate, ask questions, give advice, and a lot of the energy that goes along with this one is really that it's not just information and signs, but it's instructions about meaning of those signs or actions to take because of the signs. So the energy of Tuesday is really sort of if you feel like the need to act and it sort of feels in cosmic alignment that it sort of arrived out of nowhere, then rather than be in Mars and Libra energy of like, well, let's think about if I act and I don't act. This is really sort of the universe going, hey, the more you act on the information with instructions that I give you, the more information and instructions you get. So that's the energy of Tuesday. And I think that ends the report for the week. I will be out of the shop all week. So looking at my calendar before I turn off the video. That's not the calendar. That's the calendar. So I'll be out of the shop until the 11th. So if you want to book appointments for the 12th, that's great. And if you were trying to come in and get a tarot reading or buy some crystals, I'm sorry. But I'll be back in the shop on the 13th and back here next week to do another star report on the 13th. Newdimensionscrystals.com if you want to look into booking. Look into booking. That's funny. I should make that a catchphrase on something. Put that on my business card. You look into booking? Anyway, I'm crazy. That being said, y'all love me when I'm crazy. That's why y'all come in the shop because it's a lot more out of control than me writing down a couple of phrases that I want to say that are good enough for the YouTube, so that nobody comes back and like you're losing your mind. Did you see what you put on YouTube? Uh, Direct knowledge, measured exposition. That's what I'm all about. Nice, clear, calm. Anywho, I think that's it. I'm just sitting here doing self descriptions that are getting kind of weird. And that's what I try not to do on this. But anywho, I'm going to find the stop button and wish you until next time, everybody. Many blessings.